we're going to start the action. So here we go together now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
An unprecedented weekend of importance in the International Wrestling Cartel, as for only the third time in IWC's near 8-year history, the IWC Heavyweight title will be decided in an elimination tournament. Only this time, there's 16 men involved. This is promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is opening round tournament action to crown the very next IWC champion. Introducing to you first, making his way around the ring. He hails from Hollywood, California, raising at 208 pounds.
At ringside, I am Joe Dombrowski, joined as always by the morally deficient Jay Worthington Farnsworth. Jay Worth, 16 of the most deserving athletes who around the independent wrestling circuit converge to crown what we hope to be a brand new IWC Heavyweight Champion.
I wouldn't say brand new too loudly. The person currently holding the belt might have a problem with that statement.
Holding the belt physically only, as previous champion Dennis Gregory stripped of the title after assaulting various IWC personnel and officials, including promoter Norm Connors. As a result, the title was held up, and this tournament was declared.
Well, you know what they say, possession's 2/10 of the, oh wait, not 2/10.
And his opponent roams the streets at night while you sleep. He is ranked 9th in the tournament. He is Michael the Bomber Facade.
Possession's 9/10 of the law, Joe. As long as he holds that belt, he has every, and no one beat him for it. I think he has a right to call himself champ.
I don't know about that exactly, but I'll tell you this, Michael Facade, as he tags the IWC title tournament here, we are coming to you from the Steel City Comic-Con, the largest toy comic collectible convention in the United States today. All luminaries and dignitaries are here tonight. Bruno Sammartino's here signing autographs. Wrestling superstar Virgil is here. In addition, stars from pop culture, including James Bond, Star Wars, The Twilight Zone, Hellraiser, and many more at IWC, a proud big-time part of the Steel City Comic-Con 2008.
And speaking of raising hell, we got two guys willing to do that in the ring right now. Probably two of the most underrated, for lack of a better term, guys in IWC, and I'm glad to see both of them in the tournament.
The most evenly matched contest in our first round as far as seeding goes. I believe this is number 8 and 9 colliding with one another. And two men on very different career paths here. Of course, Lords, a former IWC Super Indie champion, formerly one half of the tag team champions as well, looking to get back on top of that mountain and hold the only championship in IWC he has yet to win. Meanwhile, Michael the Bomber Facade, Suburban Terrorist, looking at arguably the biggest matchup of his career. Facade can stoop to the next level with a win here, but Troy Lords, a little bit of a shot early on.
Speaking of the next level, Troy Lords not looking to do any pleasantries, any feeling out. A nice headbutt right to the nose, starting things off here, hot and heavy.
And you talked about being underrated. Keep in mind, Michael Facade holds a pinfall victory over John McChesney. Michael Facade, also formerly one half of the IWC Tag Champions. He's had his share of big-time victories here.
Very true. Oh.
Both men came down. Looks like Lords landed the more awkwardly of the two. Michael Facade quickly back to his feet. And Facade, his mind's got to be going a mile a minute here because he knows exactly what the stakes are in this instance. IWC title tournament here. Dennis Gregory, of course, the #1 seed, hoping to be a record-setting 6-time IWC champion, but he's got 15 deserving individuals who have something else to say about it.
Well, let's be honest, Dennis Gregory has already set the record. It's just improving the record he's set at this point. And seeing a nice level of viciousness out of Troy Lords so far. I like the attitude of,
head first. And this could be all here, 2-0, says referee Stephen Coulter.
Yeah, even if he wins it at this point, Facade's coming out of the match 2 inches shorter. Jeez. dumped him right on his head. And now Smart going right to work on his head, on that the spine, cervix, cervical, lumbar,
cervical vertebrae.
Well, those two.
That works.
I'm sorry, I don't have a degree in medicine, Joe, or chiropractic terms. Shut up, Joe.
Facade gets back to the vertical base.
At least I show up. Where the hell were you?
Well, I was on assignment, but I am here now. I was doing some out-of-town work for IWC, certainly representing IWC in other areas of the country. But right now, this is the most important time in IWC right now, the here and the now, the IWC Title Tournament. First IWC Title Tournament ever, July 20th, 2002. We saw Colt Cabana survive that tournament to emerge victorious. Also in that tournament, Balls Mahoney, Nunzio, Chris Hero, Dennis Gregory, a number of others. And that set a very high standard for heavyweight title tournaments. Facade, traps forward, shoulders, only gets 2. Also, our second title tournament was in the fall of 2006. Ricky Reyes survived low-key, Ray Rowe, and a number of others to come out on top there. But never have we had a 16-man tournament in IWC history.
And Michael Facade just survived a good boot to the head to get out at 2 there. Things are not going quite, I think, how Facade was hoping.
Not in the least. But Facade has resilience. That's certainly for sure. We've seen him survive the attempted hits by the Gambino family. We've seen him survive a near broken neck with a spike pile driver. Facade traps the shoulders, only gets 2 out of it. So Michael Facade has come back from indeed career-threatening injuries. And we've seen him come back more vicious and relentless than ever. This kid has definite staying power, but will it be enough to catapult him into the second round? You got to think Facade is a slight underdog to someone with the championship history of Balls Hot.
Very true. The championship history, the experience, and frankly, with the experience comes a little more drive. I mean, he's been around for how long? He's never really gotten a shot at that heavyweight title until now. So, am I correct in that?
Well, he's had 1 or 2 opportunities in just about a 7-year career or so. So really not a major run on top as a main eventer. And Troy Lords has a chance to alleviate that here tonight. Keep in mind the winner of this matchup will move on to, I believe, face the winner of Dennis Gregory and Logan Julo.
True. So, real quick, who are you picking for the finals, Joe?
The finals, I have to go with Ray Rowe. Ray Rowe had the championship won back in December. He would have had the belt if not for J-Rock betraying him. Rowe has a chance, and we have a cover in the ring, 2-0. Rowe has a chance to get rid of all those personal demons in just the first round with Shane Taylor. And if he can overcome the 375-pound mammoth, I think Ray Rowe may steamroll all the way to the end.
Oh, well, if I'm looking at that half of the bracket, I gotta say, I gotta give it to Hentai. Just a man on fire as of late. So I think he's put on about 10 pounds of muscle the past 2 months or so. He's looking a little bigger. He definitely has the ability. I think he has a great chance of taking it.
Michael Facade has the cover here, 2-0. Great STO back heel trip after a little bit of Street Fighter action in there, as you were saying.
Now, if we...
oh, beautiful K-Brada, the in-ring Acai moonsault, lateral press, 2.5. Balls Hot escapes. Michael Facade pulling it all on the line.
Other half of the bracket, who would you pick?
I have to go with Dennis Gregory. As much as I don't like him, he's resourceful, he's conniving, he's the most experienced guy in this tournament, and he's been there 5 times before. You cannot argue with success.
I completely agree with that. However, a couple knees there, or a knee there, I should say.
Countered the suplex, and down with a brainbuster. That's a Lord specialty. And this could be all here. Lords with an ear fall.
You know, normally I would agree with you. Were it not for the fact that recently, and I'm going to go out on a limb with this one, Jimmy Demarco has recently declared himself, for lack of a better term, free and clear of the Gambinos, or at least that's so it seems. He has no problem telling them he doesn't need them in the ring. You don't throw away your easy ticket without a certain level of confidence, motivation, and frankly, upping your game.
Oh, check out this back bridge. Drop low to the back of his head for 2.5. Now that was a lethal offensive maneuver, and the crowd appreciates it.
Wow, vicious, right on the back of his head. But yeah, I got to give the edge to Demarco. He's a man with nothing to lose at this point.
All eyes have certainly been on delicious Jimmy Demarco these past several weeks. Will be very interesting to see how he fares a little bit later on. And he's got an opponent that he necessarily wasn't expecting until late last night. More on that later. But right now, Balls Hot Troy Lords maybe going for the X-Buster. This could be all. Facade dropped down the back of the neck.
How many more times can he be dumped on the back of his head?
They have our answer now, and no. Facade grabbing the rope again, still able to survive. Can you believe the resilience? Just the first match of the first round. 7 of our 8 first-round matches will take place here this evening. Dennis Gregory, I don't know how, maybe that's a privilege of being the #1 seed, chose to push his matchup to tomorrow. And we'll see how he fares against the youngster Logan Shulo then. 2-0.
Oh! And when wrestling doesn't work, just kick him in the face.
Yeah, that's self-explanatory. Balls hot, gonna go high risk. We've seen him do it time and again. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it does not. Champion dreams on the line, and Facade got the knee up.
Right to the head.
Facade, wait a second. He just called for it. The Arashikage driver. Lords on top of his head. Arashikage gets the win.
Here is your winner, and advancing in the championship tournament, Michael Facade.
Devastating driver drops his opposition on top of his head, and what you got to consider a mild upset, Farnsworth. Michael the Bomber Facade has made it to our field of 8 tomorrow afternoon here at Promotional Consideration, paid for by the following. Facade making a big-time showcase in a big-time environment.
Absolutely. A great showing for the kid to begin with. And now he just has to find out who he's facing, be it Dennis Gregory or Logan Shulo.
The disadvantage for Facade, he won't find that out until tomorrow afternoon when Gregory and Shulo go one-on-one, but Facade makes it to the Elite 8 here in first-round action in IWC's title tournament.
Not that anybody cares, but I just had to do it. Going to the bathroom, standing next to Darth Vader. Oh my God, all my dreams are fulfilled. You gotta be kidding.
It is one half of the Hollywood Falls. Here's Vendetta.
Certainly a lot of interesting characters here at Steel City Comic-Con, but none in more of a surly mood than Vendetta, finally getting a major opportunity in the singles ranks that he's craved for so many months. But he will be opposing an individual who has once again rediscovered their true self.
His opponent hails from Erie, Pennsylvania, weighs in at 216 pounds. He is the John.
Chesney keeps pointing to his face like he's gonna pop a zit or something. I don't know what that's all about now.
Well, John McChesney spent many months in the War Machine under the tutelage of Dennis Gregory, and after Dennis Gregory refused to give any credit to McChesney for Gregory's successful title defenses, McChesney rebelled and told Gregory, contrary to what you may think, there's still one man out there that you, Gregory, have not beaten. And he was, of course, referring to himself, was John McChesney. Bolin, can John McChesney go all the way here?
Well, you know, possibly, but it's anybody's ball game out here. You know, it's a long tournament. These guys are going to give it their all. We'll see what McChesney's got to offer.
And what do you make of Vendetta? Obviously, someone who's so into bodybuilding, working out as you are, you got to be impressed by the physique of Vendetta.
Yeah, Vendetta looks all right. He's pretty tight up there. He's got some decent size to him. Definitely better condition than McChesney, but McChesney, he's a good worker.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll see what happens here.
Well, Farnsworth, we've seen the resilience on John McChesney for so many years, defeating Christopher Daniels, defeating Shannon Moore, Chris Hero, a number of others. John McChesney is tournament tested. He won Super Indy 4, survived low-key in the finals. Can he make it now in a tournament twice as large?
Absolutely. The thing that has been the trademark of John McChesney is he can take it, regardless of what has been thrown at him. He can take it and come out on top. It comes down to heart, for lack of a better term. he wants it more than maybe anyone else in the tournament. And he is dying to get that heavyweight title and prove that he is cream of the crop here at IWC. I mean, it seems like an impossible task trying to go through Vendetta, but he has, you can see, no fear, no problem doing it. He's going at it 100 miles an hour head first.
Well, you know, we've seen the mean streak of Vendetta in recent past. Of course, it's part of the family, Gambino, Jimmy Demarco. We've seen Vendetta attack people with billy clubs. We've seen him as part of the family's hits. We've seen him suspended, and that really hasn't helped his mood or his attitude in the least. Keep in mind, back at Super Indy, Vendetta vented his frustrations over not having a major match at that big show, thinking he was deserving of facing Dennis Gregory then for the title. He can prove that point true tonight and tomorrow as well if he captures the heavyweight championship in this tournament.
A big if, though. I mean, that's a big if. I'm taking nothing away from him, but this is really one of the. It's the toughest way to ever try and win a tournament, try and win,
hey, I don't
to
know
get a
if
belt.
you two pinheads have been paying attention, but Vendetta's been really giving McChesney the business. I mean, he's outpowering him in every sense of the word. He really looks good. McChesney better get his stuff together, because Vendetta's here for a reason.
Right up and over, maneuver by McChesney. Great vertical leap on the drop kick.
Just when I say it, Joe. Here goes McChesney throwing a drop kick.
Knife edge chop. Certainly Vendetta is to his advantage to ground McChesney, keep the tempo slower, play to a more power game. But if McChesney can hit and run, he's in his element, but Vendetta caught him. Hard clothesline.
Well, it was the speed that gave McChesney the advantage there, and Vendetta countered it with what he knows and what he brings to the ring, the power.
Stomp on the neck. You gotta love the ignorance of Vendetta. You gotta love his attitude. I don't care what you say. Good, bad, and different. He's got a good attitude. He goes out there and does what he has to do to try and win.
Well, Vendetta's been used to tag team action the past couple of years. Mr. Bowen, do you think that might have a disadvantageous effect on this matchup, that he doesn't have a partner to turn to?
Not really, not necessarily. If you're paying attention, you'd see that Vendetta is still giving McChesney the business. Look at it, nice kicks, stiff kicks right to the gut. Again, back to the choke. Yeah, I understand it's illegal, but hey.
It's not illegal till the 5 count.
Exactly.
And frankly, stepping on a throat's a lot quicker than trying to ground a man down to the mat and applying a hold.
You know me, Joe. I'm all about hardcore and just, bringing it. Hardcore is in the sense of hit you over the head with a light bulb, but I'm talking intensity, like two guys going at it, like two bulls. Look at that. Oh, that's.
You can see McChesney's body bounce off of the turnbuckle. Winner of this matchup, I believe, will face the winner of Shima Xion and Justin Idol in just a few moments. So the tournament only gets stiffer competition as we go along. It's tough to imagine so many worthy contenders. There's only going to be one left at the end.
Well, Joe, it is a tournament.
Vendetta elevates McChesney. Delayed vertical suplex.
Yeah, that's going to hurt the back.
Vendetta with a great display, great exhibition of his power all over John McChesney thus far.
He is strong, but he's got to get the job done now. He's been beating on him for a while. It's time to put him away.
The thing that I think Vendetta's missing right now is he's letting McChesney get to his feet, which is the big mistake. His advantage is to keep him down on the mat and not let him use his speed to his advantage. Vendetta needs to just right now start stomping him in the back of the head, maybe kick him in the nuts.
You're right. Nah.
Well, please, some decorum, Mr. Farnsworth.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Foghorn, like, you don't just blatantly go and kick some guy in the nuts.
You don't.
All right?
Vendetta with a slam.
You got half a sack.
I have nothing to do with who gets title shots around here.
You know what? Maybe you need to do something about that there, Vendetta.
Great elevation on the leg drop. Took way too much time. Nobody home.
He's taking care of who gets the title shots right now. He's showing everyone what he can do.
You know what? You're right there, Foghorn. Yeah, he had him down on the ground. Why doesn't he just stomp a mud hole into him?
Exactly.
Don't let up on your opponent. Beat him till he's down, and then beat him some more, and then pin him.
And this is the opening John McChesney may have needed. Back to his feet, firing away on Vendetta. And John McChesney Maybe getting slightly an upper hand here. McChesney, a very underrated striker. You may not think it looking at him.
He's a fighter, though. Look at him. He's got a lot of fight in him.
No doubt about it. Vendetta's dazed, but not down, and Vendetta just muscles him into the corner. The lower back into the buckle, and down with a spine buster. And the cover, that's going to be 2 endo.
Wow.
And that just ruined what was left of his back.
Vendetta with that short spurt of offense there.
Still, he needs to stay on that low back. He did some damage right there. Go right up there and kick him right in his kidney.
That's true. That's going to definitely affect John McChesney's mobility as this matchup goes on, but he slips through the ropes, connects with the feet right between the eyes. And John McChesney looking to capitalize. High elevation on the drop kick. This could be yellow McChesney in the second round now. Near fall situation. And you know McChesney, in the back of his mind, he is thinking Dennis Gregory. He wants to stay in this tournament long enough to not only win the championship, but also come across Dennis Gregory somewhere along the way as well. And the first step is Vendetta, but a very tough step indeed. We've seen resilience from Vendetta, but we really haven't seen in quite some time. Vendetta, much like Facade a moment ago, really stepping it up and proving himself here tonight, but can he get the 1, 2, 3?
And Vendetta just taunting John at this point. Oh!
Vendettinator countered, but right back with another hard clothesline. Vendetta using his strengths for a near fall.
A clothesline, downright Malbosian.
And you can see the toll this matchup has taken on both of these individuals, but neither man staying down. Vendetta signals this might be over. Many, many men have attempted to put away John McChesney and fallen short. Vendetta cannot waste time. Paid for it. Straight to the butt of the jaw with a super kick. And John McChesney, just like that, advances.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just foghorn. What were we just talking about? Vendetta needs to step it up and keep the pressure on him. There he goes, taking his sweet-ass time. Wham! Super kick right to the jaw. He deserved that. He deserved to get knocked out.
He did. You jaw with these moron fans and try and get their approval, and you're not paying attention to the guy in the ring. It can be over just like that.
Yeah, and you've got to give it to McChesney too. The opportunity came, boom, lights out, curtain.
Will McChesney prove all along that he was a more deserving champion than Dennis Gregory, and the sole reason Gregory was champion over most of the past year? McChesney attempts to prove that as this weekend presses on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following championship tournament match is set for 1 fall and a 20-minute time limit. Introducing to you first the number 6 seed in the tournament. He's one half of the IWC Tag Team Champions, Justin Boyle.
He's called the aerial icon. He's one half of the IWC Tag Team Champions. Survived a brutal tables, ladders, and chairs match to win that championship. And now in the first round, he ends up opposed with an individual who was on the other side of that TLC match, a long-standing tag team rivalry. Now advances into the singles ranks as well. Shima Xion, the world-traveled superstar from Japan to Mexico to Canada and back. Also tournament tested. Who could forget Super Indy 4, the shellacking he took from the notorious 187 Homicide. Who could forget Super Indy 6, Super Indy 7. Shima Xion competing in his first heavyweight title tournament here this evening.
You got a guy in pink against a guy in tassels. Wow. Guess we're in the right place, huh?
Well, this apparently is the cheerleader portion of the competition.
Hey, man. Whatever floats your boat, brother.
Well, Justin Idol, not adept to singles competition here in IWC. Only had about 1 or 2 singles matches. Usually, of course, one out of sexual harassment with Eric Ecstasy, who did not qualify this evening. Same goes for Shima's frequent partner and babyface flyer Jason Gory. These are the only representatives of these respective teams in this tournament.
Ooh, and look at
match of the old head there by Shima.
Both men want to start a little bit tentatively here. Of course, there's a long way to go this weekend. And Idol and Shima know the reputation that the other one has. They know what they're in for here. This is not going to be an easy contest by any stretch. Not only that, of course, they put each other through tables, thrown each other off of ladders over these past several months. A very time-tested tag team rivalry surrounding the championship belts. And there's a lot of mutual respect there, too, gentlemen.
No, I'm very proud of them. That's good. But you know what? The match started, so all respect needs to end, and these two need to get it on. There's a heavyweight title on the line in this tournament, so friendship leaves the door. It leaves the building at the door. Yeah, not happening.
Shima able to slip underneath, but Idol get back up to the vertical base. Arm drag takedown. Quick pin attempts early here. A little psych out process by each side, and Shima settles in with a front chancery.
You know, both guys know each other really well, and they're both aware of not only of the knowledge that each has as far as counters, but also of the speed that each has. And so I'm not surprised that we're seeing this start out relatively slow. They don't want to give each other the chance to really open up and take advantage of that speed and that countering ability. Oh.
Nice kick right in the mouth by Shima Xion into the arm drag. Pace quickens a little bit here, and it's difficult to assess who that would advantage. Both men are very light on their feet, are very quick in the ring, and certainly can hang with anybody on the roster in that respect. Keep in mind the winner of this matchup will go one-on-one. Fabulous John McChesney in our second round. And no matter who advances, that's going to be a tremendous encounter.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So, where were you, Joe?
No, I was on assignment.
Yeah, where?
Well, I was
You were in your basement.
No, I was traveling through Ohio as representative of IWC, getting some thoughts from some of our fans, some of our DVD buyers, doing some promotional tours.
Foghorn, would you miss him or something?
It's not like Joe to not show up.
Well, I told Chuck Roberts to keep an eye on you, make sure you don't say anything out of line.
All right, gear down, guys. Gear down. There's a match going on here.
That's right. The story is right now Shima Xion, Justin Idol, battling on the outside of the ring on this turf here.
Oh.
And Shima
right into the apron. That's gonna tickle the spine a little bit there.
That's where wood meets metal. And Idol sends Shima Xion back in. It could come down to who can dig down deep and find that mean streak. And indeed, as you mentioned, Mr. Bolden, throw respect out the window for the next several moments.
Yeah, dude, this is a battle. They're going for the heavyweight title. Kidding me? No friends in this.
Reverse chin lock by Justin Idol. Trying to ground Shima Xion. Seen Shima Xion have so many explosive, fast-paced maneuvers, that Bible Black, double knees, of course, so many death-defying maneuvers up the top rope.
That's great and all, but when you're laying there taking a leg drop on your neck, those high-risk maneuvers don't mean a damn thing.
Absolutely.
Sheena needs to get his stuff going together. Or Shima, what's his name? What's that broad's name?
That's Shima Xion.
Ah, Shima Xion. And the lady in pink.
Well, you should get to know these people, Mr. Bolden. One of them might be our next IWC champion.
Okay, I mean, that's great. Good for them. Very
I didn't know we had a women's title.
Stop it. I'll tell him you said that.
You go right ahead.
Tell them, write it down, call them up, take a picture. I don't care.
Idol applying torque and pressure on the
talking to Foghorn.
arm and shoulder. Well, that was more directed at Mr. Farnsworth.
Ah, okay. What is it? I like Foghorn better. That's what your name is.
Foghorn's fine.
Yeah, it better be.
Idol.
You're right because you're bigger. That's what it comes down to. I am not about to correct you, sir.
Back elbow, but the aerial icon Justin Idol spent so many months searching for success for championship gold here in IWC. Finally found it with the tag team titles, but Idol could have the opportunity to be what I believe would be IWC's first dual champion.
An impressive feat if he can do it.
Yeah, if butts, candy nuts. He's got to beat Shima right here. Shima or... God, I'm terrible with names. The dude with the tassels. The little mini Ultimate Warrior there.
Idol taking control on the future fashion reversal by Shima. To charge in. Idol sends Shima up and over, great balance on the apron. And Justin Idol can get ahead of steam. But Shima slips it from the backside and drops Idol down. And
God in heaven.
There's a little bit of a hostile makeover for you.
5 minutes has elapsed in this
VGC.
match. 5 minutes.
And Shima Xion needed this moment to recover.
Hey, look, there's a Joker, or Riddler, or whatever his name is. Outstanding.
That is the Joker. We have a lot of
Good stuff.
a lot of big stars here tonight. A lot of great fans here tonight. We got, as I mentioned, people from James Bond, Star Wars, Hellraiser, Twilight Zone, wrestling superstar Virgil. We have a lot of big
Joe Dombrowski.
That's absolutely true as well.
All right, shut them out.
Mid-ring chops. Shima Xion, forearms. Slight advantage here in Idol, clothesline.
Nice little clothesline there. What do you think about that, Joe?
As Shima Zion's mounting a great bit of momentum here. If he can capitalize, Xion may have something here. He may have advanced into the second round, but Idol can never discredit him. Near 10-year veteran. Idol throwing off his game a little bit. Didn't know where Shima went. German with a bridge. Great suplex. 2-end. No near fall.
And so you have to think, both guys pretty much equal with the speed. It's going to come down to who has more power.
And that's hard to say, being that they both weigh 11 liquid ounces.
Shima on the receiving end of a huge kick from Idol. Follow through with a knee. A little bit of that whammy kablammy action, Farnsworth. Into the cover, and no.
To be fair, I think Shima might be up to 12 liquid ounces.
It's a possibility. What do you think about that, Joe?
Well, that'd be liquid ounces of pure smut if we're talking about Shima.
True, true.
Idol.
He is chock full of smut.
Follow through. Nobody home. Shima uses the top rope as a springboard down on his feet. Out quickening Idol here. Reverse leapfrog, reverse Hurricane Rana. Idol dropped to the top of his head. This could be all. Hook in the leg, but Idol had his foot on the rope. Poor ring positioning by Shima Xion. A rare mistake by the former tag team champion.
You could call it poor ring positioning, but it's a great call by Justin Idol, throwing his leg up on the rope just to make that save.
Absolutely.
Other than that, he'd have been dead in the water.
I'm not even sure he knew he did it. I think his leg was just flopping around.
Foghorn, I don't even know you know what's going on.
Oh, it might not. You're right, sir.
Idol, we could have used you, Mr. Bowen, for a long time here. Idol on the top turnbuckle, but Shima springs up the second rope with the arm drag off the top. Into the cradle, shoulders are down, but no, could not hold the weight. Shima from lust to dust here. Got it. Right on the top of the head. Nobody kicks out of this. Shima Xion is in the next round.
From lust to dust.
Here is your winner.
You ever have any of that on you there, Foghorn? A little bit of lust? Sounds like a perfume.
No, sir.
Shima Xion overcomes Justin Idol in this babyface fire sexual harassment war. Farnsworth, Shima Xion, got to go toe-to-toe with John McChesney second round.
Another great matchup. We'll see. Probably two of the most favorite guys in the tournament at this point. We'll see who comes out on top on that.
Shima Xion has fallen short in 3 prior IWC tournaments. Will his first heavyweight title tournament be his first tournament victory and his steps to immortality? Plenty more first round action still to come. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, opening round tournament action continues in this following contest set for 1 ball and a 20-minute time limit. Introducing to you first our number 10 seed, weighing in at 200 pounds. He hails from the last house on the left. He is the new horror, Sami Callihan.
The new horror, Sami Callihan making his IWC debut, just 20 years of age, but already made major waves over the East Coast and the Midwest. This is a very unusual individual, a throwback to an old school horror movie, if you will, but also a very physical and intense young athlete. He was a runner-up in the prestigious Ted Petty Invitational Tournament in the Midwest, and also competes extensively in top promotions on the East Coast. And Sami Callihan, not too endeared with the IWC crowd here in his first appearance.
The new whore, huh?
Exactly.
Wow. What street corner is he on? I think Foghorn wants to hook up with him.
I believe he said horror, not horror.
Yeah, whore.
No,
new whore.
No.
Well, he may have a very horrible fate based on his opposition on the way to the ring right now and the sheer intensity and intimidation that he possesses. Sami Callihan, a very physical athlete, but I think we're looking at his equal in that effect, the two most physical cruiserweights I may have ever seen.
Here's the winner and the number 7 seed, weighing in at 188 pounds, Super Hentai!
Super Hentai looking like a jacked 188, huh? Look at the conditioning on this little guy.
Super Hentai is the most decorated Super Indy champion of all time.
He is, isn't he?
He was the first ever champion, took the belt to Japan, held it just shy of 12 months before he was defeated by AJ Styles of all people. Super Hentai is also a former tag team champion. He defeated, along with then partner Sebastian Dark, the timeless, legendary Midnight Express, Eaton and Condrey for that honor. But Super Hentai has never held IWC's top prize. His chance is this weekend.
Yes, it is. Like you said, he has held all kind of titles. But the one thing also he has not been able to do.
Sami Callihan before the bell. Bobby Williams now sounds for the bell. Sami Callihan, much like Hentai, a very intense striker. Sami Callihan has lariats that are comparable in many circles to the legendary Stan Hansen. You may not be able to tell, but a very, very physical athlete, and he goes right to Hentai, not wasting any time, trying to make a big first impression to IWC officials. The Hentai, quick at the pace, great satellite head scissors, takes the new horror down, followed through drop kick, caught him low, Sami back up, caught him higher now, and Sami is reeling in the ropes.
Oh!
And over the top he goes. Look at Hentai.
And you can see the determination on Super Hentai. Gentlemen, he was screwed out of the Super Indy Tournament this year. He had a seed, but thanks to injuries suffered at the hands of the hit by the family, he had to bow out. Now he's in tournament competition. Up with a helo. Goes Hentai down onto Callihan.
Well, Joe, you've done the research on Sami Callihan. How is he as far as the, how quick is he?
Well, he's very quick, but he's not an aerialist, I'll tell you that. He is a ground and pound striker. He is shades of a guy like a Stan Hansen or other such very physical individual. Super Hentai will have it all over Sami Callihan in the air. When it comes to striking, though, Callihan may be the only man in the cruiserweight weight class that can match Hentai punch for punch.
And that's saying something.
Exactly.
One thing about Hentai also is recently he's been allowed on the Steel Phantom because they lowered the height for Jeters.
Oh, wow.
And he beat it. Good for him.
Well, Callihan took a very ugly spill on the outside, and this matchup deviating far and away from the ringside area. And you know Hentai, the respect he carries, the tenure he's been here, Farnsworth, he does not want to lose to somebody here on their first night.
No, not at all. And
Ouch,
frankly,
hit the wall.
He doesn't want to count it out either. He may want to start thinking about getting to the ring.
Well, credit to Bobby Williams. He knows the prestige of this tournament, the matches. Nobody wants a count out. Nobody wants a disqualification. Giving him some leniency. Now Hentai just splats against the side of the wall.
He looked like a fly, well, not a giant fly, but a medium-sized fly, splat right into the wall. Unbelievable. Did you see that, Jeff?
Hentai in hot pursuit, jumped over the barrier. Hentai pulling out all the stops here in the first round. You can tell Hentai is on a mission to capture that proverbial IWC Triple Crown.
You can tell he's been getting ready for it. He looks to be about 5 to 10 pounds bigger over the past month or two.
Yes, he does. Definitely.
You can tell he's been putting the extra time in at the gym.
Meanwhile, on the subject of weight, Sami Callihan as a success story to his own credit, lost an ungodly amount of weight to get himself in fantastic ring shape. At one point, Farnsworth, he was in excess of 330 pounds.
Wow, Foghorn. He weighed like 10 pounds less than you.
Wow. That's saying something. Sir.
Snapmare by Sami Callihan.
I'll have you know I'm down to a svelte 280. Thank you.
How are you? Oh, that's great.
That's 280 at Twisted Steel and Sex Appeal, I'll have you know.
Okay.
And now all
Rip.
the weight of Callihan now over top of Super Hentai.
You are shredded there, Foghorn.
I am.
Making Hentai carry it. Hentai trying to battle his way free from the grasp. Charges in, duck of the clothesline by Hentai, back elbow as well. Hentai quickens the pace, sunset flip, Callihan rolls through and hits one of those lariats. Hentai may be down 2-0. Callihan has a version of that lariat he calls the Jobber Clobber lariat.
It rhymes.
Nothing gets by you, Farnsworth. And wait, look, Sami Callihan's got a mouthful of mask tassels.
Foghorn, did you really just make a riddle?
No, I made a rhyme.
Don't talk.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Tell me Sami Callihan isn't deranged. He had Super Hentai's mask in his mouth. This guy's not all there.
Hentai was some vicious headbutts there.
A hard kick to the top of the head. We mentioned Hentai experienced in Super Indy tournaments, won Super Indy 1. Cover here, 2-0. Beats CM Punk, Christopher Daniels, among others, in Super Indy's past. Sami Callihan, runner-up in the Ted Petty Invitational Tournament. Both men are very well tested in this type of environment. Not sure if Hentai's ever been in a 16-man tournament, however, Callihan has. That could be a difference maker.
I'll tell you what, I might make fun of Hentai about his height, but he sure does have a lot of fight in him. Look at him. The resiliency in this guy. Nice counter by him. Oh, right to a knee off.
Atomic drop, both men's
5
heads.
minutes has elapsed in this match. 5 minutes.
Both men's heads may have collided as the momentum carried Callihan back right into Hentai, both men dazed.
Calm down, Foghorn. Calm down. I know their heads collided, but calm down. Take it easy.
I'm not quite
Listen,
sure why you're
sir,
so
please
angry
calm
with
down.
me, sir. I mean, I don't think you're going to find out about these 12 inches of fury.
I think Mr.
Oh,
Bolin,
really?
I think Mr. Bolin
We're gonna go there.
has heard some of the things you said about him back when he was an active competitor in IWC.
What's going on with that?
I said nothing but complimentary
What do you
stuff.
say, Joe?
Well, we'll talk about that later. Right now, it's about Hentai's knife edge, chopped hard clothesline. Sami Callihan is reeling, and in certainly a large degree of pain. Hentai. Here we go, the Davey Boy Smith running power slam. God save the queen, lateral press, 2.5. Near fall situation as Super Hentai almost advanced to the second round.
Oh!
Little knees to the chest there.
Hentai with a palm strike. Winner of this matchup
Get ya.
faces the winner of Rowe versus Shane Taylor tomorrow afternoon. Stiff competition. Sami hits the lariat again. And this could be all. Callihan 2.5. And as we said, Farns, with Sami Callihan matching Hentai strike for strike.
Absolutely. We've always said Hentai is pound for pound, perhaps the strongest person in IWC. Yeah, but honestly, I don't know that he's ever matched someone who is approximately the same size, but just as strong.
Hard forearm. And Sami Callihan sets up Super Hentai. Top turnbuckle. High risk situation. Suplex coming up. Hentai able to block. Callihan gets pushed down, and Hentai from the top went races high, but nobody home. And Callihan, high angle back suplex. Hentai dropped right in the back of his head. Bobby Williams, that's going to be all. Sami Callihan, big time upset, gentlemen. Sami Callihan advances.
I never thought that was going to happen, Joe. I would never thought that Hentai would have got beat by the new whore.
Sami Callihan beats perhaps the most decorated athlete in the IWC's history. Super Hentai has been downed by Sami Callihan, who's certainly very proud of himself.
As he should be. I mean, my pick for that half of the bracket gone in the first round. An absolutely impressive win by Sami Callihan.
The new horror has a long road ahead still. Will he win the IWC title in his debut at Hentai?
Introducing to you first, escorted to the ring by the Big Daddy of Destruction, J-Rock. He represents the 15th seed in the championship tournament, weighing in at 362 pounds, Shane Taylor.
Well, when J-Rock was given a tournament spot here for the IWC Heavyweight Title Tournament, he refused it. Instead, he petitioned to give the spot to 375-pound Shane Taylor. And in J-Rock's eyes, Shane Taylor is the man that will take out Rowe. We saw the 6'8", 330-pound Jason Bain fail in that attempt. We saw J-Rock go on the run from Rowe, actually manipulating Rowe, saying that that was what was missing all along after Rowe decimated Bain. But now, J-Rock has a chance with a new Cleveland area recruit to get rid of the baddest man in IWC.
And at the same time, not only get rid of Rowe in this situation, but deny him once again a chance at the title. Defeat him within this tournament. And is that Boba Fett? I'm sorry. Please stay
Shut up! I'm the only one that comes up here and tells them Lennon who we give it up one time for, punk. Plain and simple. If I can have your attention, please. For those of you who don't know, first off, I am the single greatest wrestler you people are ever going to lay your eyes upon. I am the Big Daddy of Destruction. They call me J-Rock Daddy. But they're going to give me a new nickname after this weekend, and it's the smartest man in IWC. Because when Norm offered me a spot in this tournament, I could have been like the rest of these schlups in the back and came out here and sweated and busted my brow to be crowned champion. But instead, I do what I always do. I found me some muscle, and I found me somebody that's going to steamroll right through this tournament. And then tomorrow afternoon, you talk about giving it up one time. This man is going to hand me the IWC Championship, and I will have won it without breaking a sweat. But Rowe, I got unfinished business with you, and Shane Taylor's fixing to finish it for me. So Pittsburgh, if you're not too retarded, give it up one time!
When you actually know somebody that has a family member
One time for the next IWC champion, the notorious Shane Taylor!
Well, J-Rock has revealed his plan, Farnsworth. Shane Taylor is going to plow through the competition and then hand J-Rock the title after the finals. What a conniving, manipulative, cowardice maneuver by J-Rock, trying to get the championship without doing a thing to earn it.
What a smart man.
Would you be proud of an IWC champion that didn't even beat anybody to win it?
Yeah. He was smart enough to figure out how to do it. Yeah.
Well, he's clearly got Shane Taylor under his spell.
His opponent, hails from Cleveland, America, weighs in at 252 pounds, the #2 seed in the championship tournament,
Rowe had the IWC title won this past December at a Call to Arms Night 2. However, J-Rock betrayed Rowe the one time he needed him the most, slamming the cage door on Rowe's head so hard the door came off of its hinges. And with that door shot, ended Rowe's championship aspirations. And now, so many months later, Rowe has the opportunity, after earning the #2 seed in a three-way match with John McChesney and Ricky Reyes, Rowe has a chance to recapture, or rather win for the first time, the IWC Championship, recapture a contendership for that championship. and get rid of J-Rock here in the very first round.
Well, what you're dealing with right there in J-Rock is the big fatty of destruction. Or what's he calling himself? Whatever. It doesn't matter. The guy's from Cleveland. End of story. Okay? He's a douche. And he goes out and he hires this big side of beef. Okay? And Rowe's got to deal with it. Well, in my opinion, I think Rowe's going to take him out and take out J-Rock right now.
Well, that's very possible. Shane Taylor is 375 pounds, however. He is the heaviest man that Rowe has ever faced in IWC.
I understand that. And then, you know, like me, for instance, a lot of guys I fight have been bigger than me. And same with Rowe. He's not the biggest man, but he is one tough SOB. He's not going to back down from J-Rock and this side of beef right here and Jay Taylor.
Well, the question is Rowe going to be able to suplex a 375-pounder? Rowe is the suplex machine. Does he have the strength to pull it off on the notorious Shane Taylor?
That's understandable. I know Rowe is absolutely a suplex machine, but sometimes you got to go to different tactics. You got to change your ball game sometimes. You got to change the game plan. Use what's best works for you and advantages yourself.
Maybe what he needs to win.
What do you think, Foghorn?
Well, we have
Doesn't matter what you think.
Taylor sends Rowe for the ride, shoulder tap.
Go ahead. What do you think?
I was, sir, just going to say that we have seen him T-bone someone larger than Shane Taylor. Or at least I have. Not by much, but I have seen it. It was not in an IWC ring. And this was also how many years and injuries ago. So
very true. Good point. I'll give you credit on that one.
Thank you, sir.
Stuck with a clothesline by Taylor, or by Rowe, excuse me. And Rowe going to charge in, but Taylor right back to his feet. A hard knee strike right to the face, and down into the backbreaker. Rowe is on a mission here, not only for the championship, but you know he's looking at Shane Taylor, and he's picturing J-Rock. Look at J-Rock scurry around the ring, trying to pick an opportunity.
It's a pretty disgusting view, looking at Jay Taylor and picturing J-Rock. That's pretty sick and twisted. And I would figure that Foghorn would laugh at that.
Rowe notices J-Rock on the outside causing problems, and the Cleveland Mafia may explode again right here at promotional consideration paid for by the following. And Shane Taylor caught Rowe. Back first into the ring post. Nowhere to land there that feels good.
And the chances of Rowe snapping off one of those suplexes just got a lot worse.
Yes, they did.
And J-Rock sends Rowe in once again, and Jarrett pointing to his mind. I cannot imagine this plan working. J-Rock trying to become IWC champion despite not even entering and wrestling in the tournament. But Shane Taylor, if anybody's going to do it, if anybody can get through all these 15 other tournament entrants, it may be Shane Taylor.
I'll tell you what, Shane Taylor is a big, big man, but he is very agile, and he does have power. You saw it in that club right there to the back, right, Foghorn?
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, good for you.
Rowe trying to fight back up from his knees. Oh. And again, Rowe just not being used to not being the most physically opposing individual in the matchup. We've seen him throw people around the ring, even as big as 300, 350 pounds. But Shane Taylor has so much power and size that Rowe's out of his element a little bit. Rowe tries to fight back, knife edge chops. Winner of this matchup faces Sami Callihan tomorrow afternoon. And that should be a physical contest either way. And Taylor, head of steam with the knee.
Just laying Rowe out over that bottom ring rope.
And just imagine, not only is it bad to get beat up by Shane Taylor, but for J-Rock to be yelling in your ear the whole time.
You okay, Rowe? Huh?
It's got to only be enraging Rowe even further. And there's nothing he can do about it since J-Rock's got his 375-pound heavy.
The hardest part of this match for Rowe right now is to put J-Rock in the back of his mind. He has to concentrate on Taylor, otherwise this isn't going to go very far.
Ray Rowe has to put his past demons behind him to move into the future, and he hopes his future, as I predict his future may be, IWC Heavyweight Championship reign. He can do it
5
here.
minutes has elapsed in this bout. 5 minutes.
But much more easily said than done. We talk about the intensity of a guy like Hentai and Sami Callihan. Imagine taking one of those guys and adding 200 pounds.
Absolutely. Mr. Boland, can I ask you a question? Let's say you were in the tournament, you knew your first opponent's going to be Taylor.
Right.
Would you change your workout regimen? How would you change what you're doing to prepare for meeting someone like this?
Changes in like what?
Would you do more squats, more reps? Would you run more?
As I always do. I'd probably up it, you know. But that being said, you got to make sure that you're healed. You got to make sure that everything is working when you get into that ring. So I'd up it for a while and then think about how bad I'm going to beat the hell out of everybody in that ring.
Cover 2 and no. Shane Taylor has Ray Rowe in a very vulnerable position here. You saw that power slam, that huge elbow as well, and not many individuals can do this to Ray Rowe. Not many men can take Ray Rowe down to this degree of time and make Ray Rowe this vulnerable. We've seen Ray Rowe for a number of months. He was an emotionless assassin. We weren't sure he felt pain, but look at the way Shane Taylor is annihilating Ray Rowe. And you know that's in part to the fact that J-Rock knows all of Ray Rowe's weaknesses, and we have an earfall, and J-Rock has certainly passed those weaknesses on to Shane Taylor.
But I tell you, the one thing I would do, Foghorn, if I was going against Shane Taylor, take one of those big legs out so that big boy couldn't walk, and then just destroy that knee. End of story. You got to take him down. Got to get him off his feet. And doing it from hitting up top, he's too big up there. Look at that. He's a big man. Take one of those legs right out and work it over.
Hard clothesline.
That would be my main assessment on destroying him.
Watch Shane Taylor measure Rowe, connects with all the weight in the corner. That's a lot of mass connecting straight with Rowe's head, his injured head. We talked about in the past Rowe's history of concussions, and that was almost it.
See right there, he's got to tighten up that cover on that. He's got to grab that leg. He's got to hook that leg so he doesn't kick out. That's just, you got to be complete, especially when you're wrestling against Ray Rowe in a tournament such as this for the IWC Heavyweight title.
J-Rock signaling for Shane Taylor to finish him.
Oh, if he lands this, it's over, without a doubt. Without a doubt, it is over. Goodbye.
Oh, went to drop the weight, but Rowe out of the way at the last second.
Kind of surprised the ring held up.
And Taylor charging, Rowe moves. And Ray Rowe, second burst of adrenaline, series of charges, series of strikes, but Shane Taylor will not go down. But now Ray Rowe has his footing. Look out! German suplex to nearly 400 pounds. The cover, almost a count of 3. But what damage did lifting that much weight do to Ray Rowe's anatomy?
I would say the momentum has shifted. Not only does that hurt Shane Taylor, that also just destroys him mentally. He's been taken off his feet in a big way. That has to be getting to him in his head.
You know Shane Taylor's not taken off his feet very often. Rowe, a series of knee strikes, mixed martial arts style, and Shane Taylor just elevated him, slipped underneath one of the knees and dropped him hard. Is this going to be all? Cover 2 and no. J-Rock was halfway in the ring.
He's excited.
That's being a little presumptuous, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. But have you ever known J-Rock to be a calm and well thought out person?
No, but I think J-Rock knows what Ray Rowe is capable of. He's no fool. That's for sure. We can say anything you want about J-Rock, but he's not an idiot.
Oh no, not saying he's an idiot.
He knows how difficult it's going to be to take down Ray Rowe.
All I'm saying is, we know J-Rock gets caught up into things, and sometimes his excitement and his emotion gets ahead of him.
And you can hear the impact. Both sides back and forth. Hard strikes back and forth. And Taylor and Rowe both struck right in the side of the jaw, and neither man is moving. Can you believe the impact and the resilience here? Discus forearm. This could be all. Shane Taylor gets the shoulder up.
10 minutes has elapsed in this bout. 10 minutes.
I think J-Rock's on the outside counting his blessings that is charged.
Big bulls are going at it, Joe. Look at them. There's no giving up. And the fact that you got that little weenie tot J-Rock on the outside, he's about a pain in the butt.
When you're right, you're right. But check this out. Ray Rowe, overhead with a T-bone. Almost 400 pounds, and Rowe measures him. The knee strikes sends Taylor bolting into the corner. Will this be all? No. J-Rock distracts Ref Coulter. He knows this match is over.
That's Stephen Coulter?
Stop it. Ray Rowe sees the problem and may be about ready to solve it. And J-Rock gets some comeuppance. 10 months in the making, but right into the Shane Taylor clothesline. Is J-Rock's camp gonna steal it? Shane Taylor, second round, no. Rowe is still surviving.
Rowe took his eye off the prize for a second, and that was all it took. It almost cost him.
I don't think Shane Taylor can believe it. I don't think we can believe it. I don't think anybody can believe it. Rowe is still alive after J-Rock's distraction. And Shane Taylor not done yet. And Rowe is out on his feet here. He may not know where he is. He may be running on instinct alone. Power slam again. Over the shoulder, no counter. Oh my God. Death Row. Knee to the back of the head, and Ray Rowe wins with Death Row.
Here is your winner, and advancing in the tournament, Ray Rowe.
It was quite the challenge, but Ray Rowe overcomes the best laid plans of his former mentor and tag team partner, Big Daddy Instruction J-Rock, and Ray Rowe is in the semifinals, and he is against Sami Callihan.
And I am sure that once J-Rock gets his nose set, he is going to have something to say about this.
Ray Rowe could have the IWC title many believe was rightfully his 10 months ago, and it may be 24 hours away.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following first round competition continues in the Championship Title Tournament. Introducing to you first, weighing in at 216 pounds. He is the self-professed most delicious man in all of IWC. He is Jimmy Delicious Demarco.
Well, in recent weeks, all eyes seemingly have been on the actions of Delicious Jimmy Demarco, the Prime Minister Perversion, the Duke of Debauchery, Senor Salacious, the Lord of Lewd, Lascivious Maximus, and of course, the Pope of Growth. And Jimmy Demarco has raised some eyebrows in recent times with his actions, and he's getting the streamer treatment after a speech from Bubba the Bulldog, a pep talk that convinced Jimmy Demarco to not lay down for Mickey Gambino. Bubba said, no regrets. That led to Demarco qualifying over his cousin, Mickey Gambino.
Okay, let's start with, what the hell have you been telling John Bolin that I said to him?
Nothing.
He's in at 210 pounds. He's in for 20
I don't have to tell Bolin a thing. He watches IWC DVDs, much like everybody else back there. You need to be held accountable for yourself.
I have been nothing but complimentary toward Mr. Bolin.
For about an hour.
He's one of my favorite competitors of all time. I don't know where you're getting these salacious lies.
You want to talk about a great competitor? Let's talk about M-Dog20, Matt Cross, the innovator of aerial insanity, former multi-time IWC Tag Team Champion, a late addition to our tournament, a sub for Johnny Gargano. As Norm Connors mentioned, not sure if it'll be on the DVD or not, but Norm Connors addressing the injury to Johnny Gargano, a hairline fracture of his lumbar vertebrae. He'll be out several months.
Look at you, you little chiropractor.
And he will be required to, I would assume, do something to address the Super Indy Championship. He was scheduled to be here tonight, but obviously the injury is impeding it.
Obviously, I'm sorry, Jimmy.
What is Demarco doing now?
The primary verb he's using is suck, and I don't want to know beyond that.
Well, he's always open to muscle sucking.
I have heard that.
Does he make you pay the full $20?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's in your mouth right now? Call it a
A lozenge. Speaking of surgeries and injuries and whatnot, did the transplant work?
Stop it. No, you're still here.
I swear to God, I will punch you right in your mouth.
Pace quick, that's advantage M-Dog. I don't know if Demarco's ever been in the ring with someone quite like M-Dog20 before.
Apparently not. He just said, what the hell?
M-Dog is a former alternate on the United States Junior Olympic Gymnastics team. So certainly has agility second to none. Takes Demarco to the outside, puts on the brakes.
And Demarco smartly jumping the rail. I don't know that would have saved him if he really wanted, but...
Got to mention, as always, great camera work by our folks, Tony F., the good friend of Jimmy Demarco, as well as the rest of Digital Horizons. DHvideos.com, of course. Have a new cameraman there at ringside. What? I understand the old cameraman decided to enroll full-time in the Terry Garvin School of Self-Defense.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes. Apparently he was very good at handling his man. He just needed to learn how to finish him off. But be that as it may, Jimmy Demarco is back into the ring, ready to go one-on-one with M-Dog20, Matt Cross, here at promotional consideration paid for by the following. The Lord Alfred Hayes Memorial, if you will. There's a tie-up. And M-Dog20 has been a former multiple-time tag team champion, as I mentioned. Never held singles gold here in IWC. I think he's a very underrated single star. He was actually in the IWC's first ever match of the first ever title tournament in 2002. That was his IWC debut, and a hellacious match with Shirley Doe. M-Dog has competed in tournaments really all over the country, all over the world. M-Dog hasn't been a regular here in IWC, but he's competed throughout France, Germany, England, Japan, Mexico, Spain. He's wrestled men like Juventud Guerrera, Ultimo Dragon. He's competed in front of crowds upwards as 10, 15, 20, even at one point 70,000 screaming fans in his travels internationally.
I will state I have also worked in front of 70,000 screaming fans, so I know exactly what it's like.
Doing what?
My job, commentating, announcing, keeping chicken heads like you in line.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry I asked. M-Dog20, talking about injuries, talking about Johnny Gargano. Of course, it's very unfortunate for him to suffer such an injury at age 21. M-Dog with a roll-up here. Shoulders down. M-Dog has that leg heavily taped, as we can notice. M-Dog has had lingering problems with his leg and groin muscle really over the past better part of a year. And M-Dog going to go high risk, but Demarco a step ahead. And watch Demarco caught into a power slam.
Oh, that's got to hurt.
Farge, I got to ask you, what do you think of the growing unusual crowd support of Jimmy Demarco ever since Bubba the Bulldog, of course, now part of IWC management, IWC founder.
When he shows up.
When he shows up, as Norm Connors says. But we have Norm Connors here. That's all that matters. And we have Norm Connors closer than we expected. Norm, what do you think of the meteoric rise of Jimmy Demarco's popularity? He went from being a creep, a pervert, a miscreant, a deviant, a sociopath, and a pervert into being one of the most beloved men. He is twice the pervert normal men are.
How do you even follow what you just said, Joe? I mean, that just says it all.
He's gone into being one of the most popular guys. He almost beat Shane Taylor, for goodness sakes.
Is that really, though, more of a comment of our society and the way society's going? It really, I mean, let's face it. You have Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you have Jimmy Demarco. Miscreants who are now like the... And you never know, Jimmy Demarco could be the IWC heavyweight champion.
How scary would that be to have him with you on those IWC luncheons? Cover 2-0.
One thing I did feel bad about is him having to switch opponents. I mean, can you imagine just game plan for Johnny Gargano for how many months?
Right.
Having it switched to Matt Cross. I mean, I felt bad I had to do it, but I had no other choice. And, you know, when you have a heavyweight tournament, you want to try to get the best stars from the world. And not only that, but we had to fill a particular seed. I couldn't put somebody on the, you know, quote-unquote lower end in that seed. So you wanted to get somebody that was really good in wrestling. And Matt was available, and that's who I went with.
That's very true. M-Dog, certainly an underrated singles competitor, as I mentioned a moment ago. Never had singles gold here in IWC, but this could be his weekend.
You never know.
But, I mean, how do you feel about Jimmy DeMarco? We've seen, we have a cover here, no, Bubba did say no regrets in your career. Bubba spoke of some of his regrets, not following through on some opportunities to advance his career. And in turn, DeMarco stood up to the family, which is no easy task.
No, not at all.
Won over the crowd support, fought Shane Taylor tooth and nail, and now...
Ironically, I just saw Mickey and Marshall in the back, and, you know, I don't, because I pay the guys, I have to talk to them at least at some point. And they did explain that...
Cover here, 2-0.
Jimmy has absolutely not spoken to them since that last show.
So we have a major malfunction in the junction.
It seems like it.
That was what I was saying. Although we haven't had a confirmation that he has severed ties, you can tell just from both the behavior backstage and in the ring. Jimmy DeMarco and the family not on the same wavelength anymore, and it could be a shattered relationship at this point.
Well, let's face it, Worthington. I mean, not only that, but think about, you know, Jimmy's tag team partner, Vendetta, and where does he stand?
True, very true.
I mean, I think the next few months in IWC will be very telling. And Matt Cross playing to the crowd.
This
One
could
of the
be
first people to do that tonight.
This could be very telling as well as M-Dog 20 connects into the corner. DeMarco comes back. Left arm lariat takes M-Dog 20 down.
Well, at least it's over. I'm going to get running, guys. I'm going to take care of some business backstage. Good seeing you both.
All right, thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Norm Connors. As this matchup presses on, DeMarco versus M-Dog 20. The winner of this matchup will face the winner of Drake Younger and the returning Sebastian Dark, and that is a daunting task.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not as familiar with Drake Younger. I've seen a little bit of his work, but I'm very familiar with what Sebastian Dark can do to someone in a ring. He rains down violence like no one else in IWC.
I cannot argue with that at all. DeMarco, second turnbuckle on the inside, puts the brakes on and stomps M-Dog. And whether the fans like him or not, Jimmy DeMarco's never going to change.
Well, he's giving everyone the peace sign minus one finger.
Very true. But M-Dog with a fireman's carry, able to capitalize and drives DeMarco down with a neck breaker. And M-Dog is at home on the top rope, Jayworth.
Oh, we've seen this before.
Split, leg and moonsault. Hook in the leg, M-Dog 20 in the second, no.
And M-Dog almost had it.
Near fall situation. Jimmy DeMarco in search of his first championship in his IWC career. M-Dog charges through with a clothesline. Of course, M-Dog would love to be back on the full-time roster. You win a title, that's guaranteed. And just steps up the back of the delicious one. The original Duke of Debauchery, I might add, regardless of what Matt Stryker may have you think.
And there was the Pope of Grope.
The Pope of Grope, yes.
Good night.
M-Dog with a huge kick and almost got a count of 3. Crowd complaining about the count. M-Dog certainly complaining, but...
Well, clearly those morons in the second and third row had a much better view than referee line.
Bobby Williams.
That's Bobby Williams?
We only have 2 referees for crying out loud.
I thought he had different hair.
He did. Very different hair. But M-Dog with a moonsault. Nobody home. Oh! The C4.
Candy-coated cookie cutter. Come on, in stereo.
And he beat him. C4 gets the job done. An explosive victory.
And look at the shock on that moron's face.
And advancing in the championship tournament, Jimmy Delicious DeMarco.
There are some old guys guys leaving over there. Wow. I think Jimmy Demarco, by beating M-Dog, has pissed off the fans more than any of his other antics ever.
That's the biggest win of Demarco's career, no doubt about it. Pinned M-Dog 20 mat cross, internationally traveled clean. And is that our next IWC champion, Jimmy Demarco? What the hell would we do?
I just want to state, I called it. He was my pick for that half of the bracket. So far, he made the first round.
Jimmy Demarco, IWC champion.
I like the way that sounds.
God help us all.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you join me in welcoming the manager, Gambino? She represents the four-time IWC Tag Team Champions.
Well, the family's here and they mean business. Let's listen in.
You've got a terrible injustice today. You see, my brother Marshall and I, four-time former IWC Tag Team Champions, don't have a match today. And every single one of you comic book nerds who come out here and spend your money because you can't get a girlfriend to take her on a date are cheated out of seeing the most dangerous, the most lethal, the best tag team, the best wrestlers today. And that's a fact. So Norm, you better get out here right now and give us a match.
I think there's a bigger question at hand.
Yes?
Come on.
Where's Ferrari?
Come on. A little faster, Norm.
That's a good question.
A little faster.
Well, Norm Connors, does he have a plan here for the most lawless group in IWC history?
I give you my word that if you give us a match, no harm is going to come to you. I give you my word.
Is his word really honorable?
I'm not going to question it.
Well, let's hear what the promoter has cooked up.
So, what you're saying to me, over the young lady's announcement, I feel like I'm at Ellsworth, is no matter what, you want to wrestle somebody tonight.
I want to wrestle somebody, Marshall wants to wrestle somebody, even Vicky or Flexor wants to wrestle somebody. Bring somebody out.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but listen, just to qualify,
We'll clarify.
Just to qualify, you'd like to wrestle somebody, yes.
Yes.
Are we qualified?
Big man. You'd like to wrestle somebody, yes?
They're not qualified, that's why they're not in the tournament.
You'd like to wrestle somebody, yes?
Even Flexor wants a match.
You'd like to wrestle somebody, yes? Let me ask the fans. Do we all want to see these guys get their butts handed to them right now? I don't know. There's a guest here today. Hit his music, please. What the hell?
Uh-oh. What will soon be a very unwelcome guest in the eyes of the Gambino family, a former TNA X Division World Tag Team Champion, a man who on Saturday, November 8th, defends the prestigious IWGP New Japan Pro Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Championship against Too Cold Scorpio in one of the very few rare times that belt has ever been on U.S. soil. And he's here as a special guest of the Steel City Comic-Con.
Ladies and gentlemen, the IWGP Senior Heavyweight Champion, Rowe!
Known in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling as Senshi, he has been for many years Low-Key, the Warrior, the Rottweiler, a mentor for many months to men like Ricky Reyes, a running buddy of men like Homicide.
We should note that both of the Gambinos are outside of the ring, leaving only Vicky and Flexor.
Where are they going?
Well, they ain't dummies. They're getting out of Dodge.
They wanted a match, and they have a 4-on-1 advantage if you count Vicky, which I don't think you should. You should barely count Flexor. But they want no part of Low-Key. And Flexor, perhaps because he's an idiot more than anything, is standing up to Loki. I don't know if he realized the Gambinos are gone. Pushes Vicky in a way. Vicky tries to sneak up from behind. Oh. Flexor, a one-man hit job on Loki, and we have a match. Loki one-on-one with Flexor.
The last we saw Flexor, he was painted blue and helping Jimmy Demarco train.
Dear Lord. One half of the entourage, aka flunkies of the family, do a lot of their dirty work. And Flexor feeling pretty good about himself. Look out. Sharp kicks right to the chest cavity. And Loki begins to go to work. Watch the flexibility of that kick right to the back of the head. External occipital protuberance. And 30 seconds in, you can already write this one off.
Yeah, I don't think that Flexor is all that confident at this point.
Well, Flexor, to my knowledge, has never had a one-on-one match, and this is not the best way to break into his singles career in IWC.
Break is the right word. I don't know that I want to see this.
Measures him right to the side of the head. And you see that trademark intensity in Loki's face, that scowl, no matter who he's in the ring with. Whether it's Flexor tonight, whether it's Too Cold Scorpio at November Pain 2008, Loki is always intense. Marshall looking for a distraction, but the Gambinos, as powerful as they are, as dangerous as they are, as many careers and lives as they jeopardized, they want no part of Loki.
Oh, thumb to the eye. Smart move. Now run.
That may be his only move. He's running towards Loki.
Oh, what's he doing? Get out while you can.
We've seen all these hits, but it might be Flexor that has the death wish. Look out. Flexor vaulting headfirst into the turnbuckle.
I think we know what's coming.
Call it the ghetto stomp, call it the Warrior's way. Either way, call it a debut, chest Flexor will never forget. Double stomp, right to the ribs. Low-key back on U.S. soil with a vengeance. Good night.
I hope the family has good medical insurance.
Here is your winner, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Loki!
Not exactly a tune-up for Too Cold Scorpio, but a big-time message sent. Low-key never has a day off and is never messing around.
There was a flash of a smile from Loki there. I think he might have enjoyed that.
And certainly the family is taught a lesson for running his mouth. There's the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. It's Loki, Too Cold Scorpio, November Pain 2008 on IWC DVD.
The spiky hair and the shiny belt. I thought that was Stephen Colton.
One fall out with a 20-minute time limit. Weighing in at 218 pounds. Making his IWC return, the bastard son of 1,000 quarts, Sebastian Dark.
Well, check this out, Jay Worth. A new look Sebastian Dark high-fiving and hugging Stephen Coulter. Does Dark still think the War Machine, the Unholy Alliance, is in existence? It's been disbanded for several months. You haven't seen Dark in 10 months. He abandoned Dennis Gregory, much like Albright, Davari, McChesney, and the rest. And Coulter and Dark, not aligned anymore, but what do you think of this new look Sebastian Dark?
I asked him about it, and I'm not really allowed to say on camera why he's not missing his hair.
Did he lose a bet?
In a matter of speaking.
Well, he may feel like he lost a bet after stepping into the ring with this individual. He is known, Jay Worth, as the Psycho Shooter.
And his opponent weighs in at 210 pounds, hails from Indianapolis, Indiana, by way of the Rage Dojo. And this is the Psycho Shooter, Drake Younger.
Drake Younger, trained in the Midwest by a legendary competitor in that area, American kickboxer. Branched out all over the country and into Europe as well. He is called the Psycho Shooter and refers to himself as a hybrid wrestler, combining the quote-unquote strong style of wrestling with ultraviolence, with the traditional American style, into what he refers to himself as the hybrid wrestler. And this is going to be physical, and it's going to be fast, and it's getting underway already.
Yeah, neither of these guys, so it seems, ever really looks to feel it out. They just jump in and start throwing.
Drake Younger, time tested in tournaments, won the Ted Petty Invitational Tournament we mentioned a little bit earlier, and that is a grueling weekend-long tournament as well. Sebastian Dark, no part of Drake Younger at this point. Drake Younger is such a sadistic, ruthless competitor. In the past 2 years, he has almost lost a variety of body parts, including a thumb, an ear, and even a nipple.
How do you lose?
In very dangerous circumstances, that's how.
What?
Drake Younger, no stranger to ultra violence, to hardcore wrestling. Certainly not that kind of element right now, but Drake Younger to take it to the outside here, our turf. Here, I believe we're at an indoor soccer arena here at the Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena, site of the Steel City Comic-Con.
Yeah, Giant Eagle Express Field.
The Giant Eagle Express Field, yes. And Drake Younger and Dark battling all through the crowd.
Oh, Lord, and they're coming over this way.
And this is not going to bode well.
Remind me to talk to Norm about some better security.
Well, our view's a little obstructive here, but I know Tony Fiore, Digital Horizons videos have you right in on the action, as always. But Drake Younger certainly in control of Sebastian Dark right now. They're punching each other in the face while sitting in chairs, I believe, Farnsworth.
Well, why waste that energy standing? Oh!
And Drake Younger wins.
I think that there should be a 10 count if it's a boxing match.
Well, again, leniency on the referee, but both guys decided to have a seat and beat the hell out of each other.
And just what is Stephen Coulter, if that is Stephen Coulter, doing? I mean, shouldn't there be a count of some sort?
Chair.
Oh.
And that says it all. Well, Stephen Coulter, much like we touched on earlier, you got to have some leniency here. There's the prestige of this tournament, the high stakes involved. Nobody wants a count out. Nobody wants a disqualification. We want one decisive winner out of 16.
Oh, and I think we...
I'm leaving. Knife edge chop the Dark.
And it looks like Dark's might be bleeding. The gentlemen are coming over here. Come on, Steven, get this under control.
Oh, into the tech area.
I can't help it.
Don't get hurt, Tony F.
How you talking to me?
Drake Younger and Sebastian Dark battling. Dark is lacerated, I believe, on his forehead, the top of the head.
No, he's just cut.
And they're making a full lap around this entire arena. And they're showing no signs of stopping.
Well, have you ever known Sebastian Dark to stop?
And I've never heard of
fighting, stop drinking, stop...
Never heard of Drake Younger to do that either. Well, what a return for Sebastian Dark. First match back in 10 months, picking up right where he left off.
Oh, and speaking of pick up, Drake Younger just picked up Sebastian Dark and tossed him over the rail. Looks like they're getting things back within the squared circle, as they call it in the business.
And we are in the business, so that makes sense.
We are businessmen.
Well, another chair. Steel chair this time. Look out.
Oh.
Right to the spine of Sebastian Dark.
Spine, ribs, internal organs.
All of them a distant memory to the bastard son of 1,000 corpses. A chair slam. But keep in mind, Farnsworth, to win, you got to get this back into the ring. It's not falls count anywhere.
Very true. Very true. Now he's setting the chair up.
Jumps off of the chair, and dives down with the elbow. And Drake Younger in full control. Oh no. A Beal to the entranceway. No, Dark counters, and Drake hits hard on solid steel.
Big just slam down onto that ramp. And as I've stated, I've carried that ramp. It is as solid an object as you can find.
And keep in mind, the winner of this matchup faces Jimmy Demarco in the next round. What must he be thinking right now?
Jimmy Demarco?
Exactly.
I imagine he's probably thinking about something pretty perverted.
Well, that's true as well. I think he's got to keep his mind on important matters for this weekend. Drake gets sent hard to the edge of that ring apron. Much like we said earlier, wood meets metal. Nothing that feels good under the pretty ring skirt. And Dark back into the ring. And whirring away at the back. You know, it's tough to figure out who this match favors on the outside of the ring. It's tough to figure out who favors this match on the inside of the ring. Both these guys are such similar styles. Sebastian Dark, of course, been around the area a lot longer. Drake Younger conquered the Midwest.
And I know Sebastian Dark has a training background that just doesn't ever come out, but that doesn't mean that he can't do some of the stuff that I've seen him do in the past. The moonsaults, the karate kicks. He has a very diverse background.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Chuck. He has a very diverse background. However, he just doesn't use it because he likes to beat people up.
Exactly. Why be fancy
when you can be effective?
Exactly, when you can inflict pain. Certainly Sebastian Dark feeling no pain most of the time. We all know his legendary alcohol intake as well.
I'm pretty sure that's killed all pain receptors in him.
Exactly. Wonder if Dark even realizes or cares that he's bleeding at this point.
I saw him swipe at it, so he knows. If he's concerned, oh, that's another story.
And Dark goes to the eyes of Drake Younger.
Oh, headbutt to the gut.
DDT, Drake Younger in this matchup, if he wants to win, if he wants to take down somebody as tough as Sebastian Dark, he may have to go for a signature maneuver. That is a variation of the vertebreaker, Jay Worth. He calls it Drake's Landing, and if he hits that, this matchup's going to be over.
That's a big if, though.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sebastian Dark probably going to have to look for the DNR, do not resuscitate, at fireman's carry drop. Both men getting to their feet after the war they've been through. That's a testament to itself. And Drake Younger fires up forearm shots right to the jaw. You can hear the impact. You can see the head of Dark snap back. Charges through with a tackle. Elevation, Michinoku driver. Nicely done, 2 and no. Drake Younger, much like Sami Callihan earlier, looking to make a big-time statement in his IWC debut. Sami did that win over Super Hentai. Huge news there. But can Drake Younger do it with Sebastian Dark? We mentioned earlier with Hentai, Sebastian Dark, also former one-half of the tag team champions when he beat the legendary Midnight Express. Could be time for DNR. No, Death Valley driver by Sebastian Dark. The bastard son of 1,000 corpses has an earfall.
And really, honestly, what it's going to come down to isn't necessarily a move even. It's just going to be who finally gets beaten to the point where they're not aware they're being pinned.
Very good point. And we may be a long way before we're at that level.
We've seen the level of violence that Sebastian Dark can inflict on people.
Dark has Drake Younger in the corner, but not for long. Overhead with a suplex. Half Nelson overhead suplex by Drake Younger. Cover here, 2 and no. Half a count away, Jay Worth.
I would say Sebastian still has a couple drinks before he passes out, if you know what I mean.
Can never discredit. Oh, Drake's Landing coming up. This may be out. No, Sebastian Dark just drops down. Kamikaze variation. Very nicely done. Sebastian Dark thinking on his feet. Very perceptive.
And a suplex. How often do you see a standard vertical suplex out of a...
Sebastian Dark digging deep into his tricks, actually using wrestling moves.
Wow. He must really want the title.
Well, Dark would love to stick it to Norm Connors, another IWC management. Of course, he spent years on an anti-IWC crusade, whether it was the Unholy Alliance, the War Machine. He knows it would just detest everybody here if he won the title. That's more motivation than anything. Drake puts the brakes on. Check this out.
Uh-oh.
Drake's landing again. Can he get Dark up? Dark's a big man. Can he drop him? Drake's landing, coming up. Look at the strength holding him up there. Running start, and Drake's landing down.
That could be, that's it.
Drake Younger with an emphatic exclamation point to his IWC debut.
Your winner and advancing in the championship tournament, the Psycho Shooter, Drake Younger.
I never thought I would say that I'd see Sebastian Dark have one shot too many, but apparently that was it.
Drake Younger, what do you make of your first impression of the Psycho Shooter in an IWC ring?
I'm not getting in the ring with him.
Drake Younger is victorious, and next, Delicious Jimmy Demarco. It's the Psycho Shooter versus just a plain Psycho. Round 2, IWC Title Tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a featured tag team attraction set for one fall and a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first the manager, Gambino. She represents at a total combined weight of 482 pounds. They hail from Ozone Park, New Jersey. They are Mickey and Marshall, the Gambino brothers.
Well, Mickey and Marshall demanded a match tonight. They demanded to be on the card here at the largest collectible show in the United States today, the Steel City Comic-Con. And as a result, they've been given a spot here. Chance to prove themselves, chance to prove tag team supremacy.
Well, here's half of the team.
They'll be facing two very decorated tag team wrestlers, but neither have teamed with the other before, to my knowledge, in 2-on-2 action.
Their opponents at a total combined weight of 428 pounds. The team of Jason Gory and one half of the IWC Tag Team Champions, Eric Ecstasy.
So, would this be sexual face fire or baby harassment? I'm not sure that either is really money as far as naming goes.
Let's be over here.
Yeah, what are we going with, Joe? Is it baby harassment or sexual face fire?
You know Eric Ecstasy better than me. Which would he prefer?
Probably baby harassment. Oh, I don't know. Maybe sexual face fire.
I don't know what that means, but it's not good.
We'll wing it.
Eric Ecstasy, half a sexual harassment, multiple-time tag champion. Same with Jason Gory, half a babyface fire. Eric Ecstasy here supporting Justin Idol. Gory to support Shima Xion. Ironically, Shima and Gory met one another earlier tonight. And when we talked about that mutual respect earlier, both sides have for one another.
Did you say Shima and Gory met earlier tonight?
Did I? Shima and Idol met.
There we go. Yeah, stay on top of it, Joe.
I'm trying. You throw me off. I'm sorry.
Speaking of staying on top of it.
What does that mean?
What's up, guys?
We are now joined by Justin Idol.
Now, Justin, maybe you can settle this for us. Is this baby harassment or sexual face fire?
In the back, they were talking. Eric was very excited. He kept using the term sexual fire.
Sexual fire?
But what we think sexual fire is, and Eric Ecstasy thinks sexual fire is, could be two different things.
Very true. God, very true.
The Gambino's on the receiving end here. Little flip-flop and fly action from Gory and Eric Ecstasy. Certainly Mr. Idol, commendable effort in the first round of the IWC Heavyweight Championship Tournament. Great effort against Shima Xion.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough. Shima, I could see him going pretty far in the tournament, though. We'll see what happens. Shima's
you know, he's been everywhere. What, Mexico, Japan, all those good places, you know.
Gambino's headed pretty far towards the exit. He got involved in Gory with a picture-perfect helo over the top. And it should be interesting, Mr. Idol, to see how one half of sexual harassment, one half of babyface fire function. We've talked about it all night. Not only do these teams have a very large degree of mutual respect for each other, they know each other very well from those classic wars earlier this year.
Yes, they do. Oh, hold on.
Double flatliner. Nice guy. Mickey goes face first. Cover, 2 and no. And you got to wonder if the Gambinos are starting to regret demanding a matchup here this afternoon.
Heck, Gory and Eric look like they've been tagging for years. I'm starting to think that I shouldn't be tagging with Eric.
Are you worried about your spot?
I might be.
Well,
some nice double team moves going on.
Not jumping conclusions here, but be that as it may, the Gambinos are 4-time tag team champions at Gory. Walked right into a close.
And it's because of stuff like that. You're not just wrestling one person at any given time. You're wrestling the entire family. Frankly, Sexual Fire should be happy that a Vendetta is not out there with them, to be honest.
1 count.
That means it's only a 3-on-2.
Of course, Flexor not out here either. We may never see Flexor again.
Flexor might be buried in the back at this point. I don't know that he survived getting...
I can tell you, a lot of the boys in the back were watching that match.
Oh, Gory elevated 10 feet in the air.
Get up now. Let's see like a tough guy now. Yeah.
We've seen the Gambinos do a lot of dirty work to Jason Gory before, breaking into his house, home invasions, tasering. Of course, their memorable steel cage war with thumbtacks and all sorts of other violence. The Gambinos have had it out for Jason Gory for a number of months. Of course, Marshall Gambino and Eric Ecstasy and yourself, Mr. Idol, had run-ins before. Gambino sexual harassment.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have another run in tomorrow, that's for sure. Gambino. They just can't seem to get enough of sexual harassment. I don't know. The Shane Taylor and J-Rock now, that's a pairing me and Eric haven't seen before.
That's right, brand new tag team throwing the best around as well. 4-team matchup for the coveted tag team championships, proving once again IWC's tag division is still more competitive than ever.
Now, you have being that you have the match tomorrow, what strategy are you
Cover in the ring, 2 and no.
To hopefully glean out of all of this? Are we trying to form a game plan? Do we have any?
Me, I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to Eric. I tried to talk to Eric a little earlier, but he's been focused on, you know, once he found out they had this tag match, I didn't want to bother him or like break his concentration. So I think that what we're gonna try to do is just hang out around on the apron and let the other guys beat the hell out of each other.
I like that plan. Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. We're all about fun and games, but we can be sneaky too.
Maybe they'll make our announcements just in a corner like they did that one show, Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Still bad memories of Eric Ecstasy sitting behind you?
Look.
Power slam. Is this going to be all here? But Jason Gory gets the shoulder up. Gory and Ecstasy narrowly missing qualifying for the heavyweight title tournament, but potentially able to redeem themselves here, and nearly 300 pounds sends Gory back first into the turnbuckle.
Just pinballed him. Just smacked him right in the stomach, bounced him off the turnbuckle.
Tag into Mickey. Look out. Trademark Gambino double team.
Oh, I felt that before. That's not pleasurable. Not one bit.
The double backbreaker. And Mickey, very lackadaisical cover. You're not going to beat anybody in IWC like that.
Gory needs to get that tag there. Really bad.
No doubt about it. They have isolated Jason Gory, obviously the man carrying less body weight. They see Gory perhaps the most vulnerable individual in this matchup. May or may not be the case, but certainly the shellacking Gory has taken thus far. He can't take much more.
I think Eric just winked at me, Farnsworth.
Well, I think Vicky just winked at me. So
that was me. She was winking at
me.
Well, we can.
I don't know. She made an R in the air.
We can reassert our masculinity after the broadcast. Right now, Jason Gory, it's a big-time trouble on the outside. Marshall Gambino just measures it.
He also kicked him in the head.
5 minutes has elapsed. 5 5 minutes.
And the referee, Bobby Williams, distracted by Mickey Gambino and Eric Ecstasy inside the ring.
Besides, I know Eric doesn't wink at me. He just stares. Just stares.
All right, call it what you will.
Mickey Gambino feeling pretty good about himself right now. Could be a tune-up for tomorrow afternoon. Tag team title 4-way matchup. Gory able to slide through with a clothesline.
The no resistance clothesline.
Up top. Oh. But Marshall Gambino shook the rope.
Marshall, stupid Gambino. God.
Bobby Williams admonishing him, but the damage has been done, and Gory sent for a loop thanks to Mickey Gambino's clothesline. Is this going to be all here? No.
By the way, Justin, what Bolin was saying earlier about you, he was intimidating me, and that's why I was agreeing. I didn't actually think any of that.
Look at you covering your tracks.
I don't. It just, he called it a cheerleader match. Okay, because you were wearing pink, and he was, and Zion was wearing tassels.
Jason Gory up and over with a QAS, but didn't have enough to follow through with the cover. But now is the pinnacle of this matchup. The moment he needs to make the tag. Mickey Gambino is dazed as well, but he is much closer to Marshall than Gory is, the sexual icon and bisexual bulldozer.
And likewise, Vicky Gambino, equally distracted by me.
She is not. Get out. Eric Ecstasy is in the ring, and he's about to be a house full of flamers.
Fire. House full of fire.
I never understood that house full of flamers. I just think that should...
Couple lady killers by Eric Ecstasy. Marshall Gambino in. 300 pounds, doesn't budge. Second time, nothing doing. And Eric with a shoulder tackle, Marshall's down. What in the world?
Oh my God. Oh.
Elevated Gory overhead after some encouragement.
I don't think he got all of it.
Cover. The kiss or the move?
I think Gory might have been a little distracted.
I hope neither.
Well, the sexual harassment playbook not working so well for Babyface Fire, but Mickey Gambino with a spine buster, but right in to a happy ending from Eric Ecstasy.
Happy ending?
Yeah, he calls that the happy ending.
Cover 2 and no.
Oh my God. Mickey Gambino.
Marshall flattening his partner, and now a huge choke slam. Is this going to be all? Leg is hooked and no. Half a count away from the Gambinos losing some serious momentum leading into their 4-way tag title match. Vicky gets her cheap shot in.
She is a cheap shot. I heard, at least.
That's what Joe said.
Yeah.
Put this on me. Marshall Gambino on the outside with Gory.
Shut up.
Ecstasy is measuring Mickey. Gory being choked on the outside with Marshall's necktie. Oh, the briefcase. That briefcase Mickey Gambino carried to ringside. Just nailed Ecstasy right in the head.
Actually, he didn't nail him in the head. Mickey nailed Eric with it, like in the head. It didn't do it by itself.
You're so literal, Justin.
You're little. We call little.
Thank goodness you're here.
Yeah. I pay attention to detail.
Ooh. Gory steps up with the enziguri.
Actually, he calls that the enziguri.
Get the branding right.
It connected, head scissors. Marshall puts on the brakes. And this could lead right into the curse of the Gambino. This could be all.
Oh.
They got it.
Here are your winners, the team of Mickey and Marshall, the Gambino brothers.
Big win for the family this evening. Big test on the road to tomorrow afternoon's 4-way tag team title matchup. Gambino, sexual harassment, best around, and J-Rock and Shane Taylor. Justin Idol, any final thoughts or scouting reports in this match?
No, I got nothing to say. I'm just focused on tomorrow's match. I mean, that was a good match, but you know, like you said, they're not regular partners. So, you know, Eric does have a steady partner. It's me. Why? Tag wrestling.
Oh,
wrestling.
okay.
partner. But tomorrow, we are on top of the mountain, and we're going to stay there.
Barnsworth?
Well, it didn't really pan out for Sexual Fire, but all these mouth breathers got a good show, so congratulations to them.
Gambinos are ready for the tag title matchup, and we're ready for the rest of this historic championship tournament. We will see you on night 2, our next DVD. Good night.